It's very clear in the Quran that the nation of Israel and the Jewish people, and especially the nation of Moses, as the Quran refers to them, who are the Jewish people of that time, they are to dwell in the land. The land is theirs. It is Jewish land, and I have said many times.
Okay, welcome everyone. I have a really special guest with me, as you can see, Imam Mohammad Tawhidi, leading reformer for peace in Islam in Australia. And it's been a pleasure to spend some time with him. Last night, I took Imam Tawhidi to his first major Jewish community event, the Chabad North Shore Dinner in Sydney. What did you think of it, Imam?
Greetings, and thank you very much for having me. I honestly felt at home. The Jewish rabbis showed amazing hospitality. The Jewish community was extremely friendly, which makes me question why is there so much hostility towards the Jewish community coming from the majority of the Muslims in this country. And my presence there yesterday proved that peace can be established, and we can live together and love each other as well. Everybody in that event was absolutely amazing. Not one person looked at me in a very weird way. Shall I put it that way? Everybody had a smile on their faces when they looked at me. The people who knew who I was approached me, greeted me. I felt very, very welcomed last night. And also, I wish that would be the case if a Jewish person had come to the Muslim community.
So what would happen if a Jewish leader came to an Orthodox, Orthodox, if inverted commas, Muslim event?
It kind of depends, but in a time like this where things are pretty intense, they would greet and then straight away to get into the politics. That would be a normal gathering. I don't think it's very common where a Jewish would be welcomed in a Muslim community with the intention of becoming good friends and possibly even neighbors, as in communities, instead of the let's say the segregation of communities here and there.
Well, I mean, obviously the hot button is Israel, and that's a difficult subject to discuss with Muslims. But I noticed a couple of months ago you alluded to what the Quran has to say about the relationship between the Jewish people and Israel. What does the Quran generally say?
The Quran basically lines out the land rights for nations. And it's very clear in the Quran that the nation of Israel and the Jewish people, and especially the nation of Moses, as the Quran refers to them, who are the Jewish people of that time, they are to dwell in the land. The land is theirs. It is Jewish land, and I have said many times, whether you agree with Israel as a government or not. I mean, there's opposition against the Israeli government within Israel.
Of course.
That's not the point of discussion. The discussion, I believe, the point is: do the Jewish people who own this land have the right to have a government? And I believe that would only be fair because the Muslims did so in Pakistan, when Pakistan was also created around the same time. So why is it okay for the Muslims to have an Islamic Republic of Pakistan on Hindu land, India, and the Jewish people can't? So I'm not trying to say the Palestinians don't have rights. The Palestinians have rights, but let's not forget that the fathers-in-law of Prophet Muhammad did invade Palestine and converted people by the sword. Umar ibn al-Khattab, Abu Bakr, and these are our caliphs. We have to admit that this is our history. If they did so, and the people converted to Islam, then only their religion changes. The identity of the land doesn't change.
Right.
That's how I see it. So I look at it from a geographic perspective and a religious perspective. And that's basically the way I tackle the issue.
Well, if you use the Pakistan analogy, um, the Jewish case is actually much stronger because the Jewish heritage to the land of Israel is 3,800 years. I mean, it's clear that Abraham purchased a cave to bury Sarah and the land around it, etc. And we have confirmed archaeological Jewish heritage going back 3,800 years, which is much, much greater than the heritage in Pakistan. And the Quran, as you say, I'm told in 4 verses, actually confirms the connection between the Jews and the land of Israel. Okay. What's your view on the conflict that's happening at the moment at the Gaza border?
When we first heard the news, I was a bit worried as to why such a thing would take place. And news spreads very quickly. What's said first sticks, and off goes the media and their headlines, and things are all put out there very quickly. So when the event takes place, in about 10 minutes, everyone's already made their mind up that the Palestinians are oppressed. And lo and behold, Hamas comes out very angry, gunmen belonging to a terrorist organization that has a history of undertaking terrorist attacks around the world, breaking into a fence with guns and knives, with the planned intention publicly on Facebook that they're going inside to kidnap and take people as hostages. That is not a peaceful protest in any dictionary. That was a breach of border. That was a terrorist attack, and they paid the consequences.
Right. In our discussions before doing this video, I invited you to consider doing joint events with us, joint events with the Australian Jewish Association. I've raised with you some controversial subjects. I don't want to discuss those subjects now, but it included things like anti-Semitism that arises out of Islam, the effects that we see in Europe. Would you be interested in doing joint events perhaps later this year?
Definitely, because I believe it's very necessary for us as Australian citizens to get together and understand each other. And if there are problems, we provide solutions to them. Now, I am not the leader of the Muslims in this country, but I believe that if I pave the way for discussions and dialogue, that would not only enhance national security, it will also educate the public that the problems that we have can be solved in such a way. Some of them might require the help of Parliament, maybe. Some of them, such as the halal certification issue. Some of them we could reach a solution amongst ourselves. But the main aim from my side is that I present a picture to the Australian people, the Australian majority, that look, a Muslim Imam can sit with a member of the Jewish community, a leader of a Jewish organization, and we can get along together, we can sit together, eat together, celebrate together, and if someone wants to attack your organization, I will protect you. If they're a radical who wants to target a synagogue, there should be Muslims that will form a line, and we're not police officers, but the symbolism there is that you're standing to show solidarity and help and support. And the same goes for the other side as well, which I have been shown absolute peace and welcome last night. And one of the rabbis actually texted me just before I slept. I will read the text, very short. He said, I will include you regularly in my prayers.
Wow.
This was sent to me just before I slept.
Right. Imam Tawhidi was introduced last night to a few of the leading Orthodox rabbis in Sydney, and it was a really, really interesting and positive interaction, particularly because Imam Tawhidi doesn't gloss over the issues. He's prepared to talk about the issues, talk about the need for reform, and we'll work out the details of these events and jointly make an announcement sometime in the future. Imam, welcome.
Thank you very much.
And look forward to working with you more closely and holding some public discussions. Thank you.
Likewise, thank you very much.
Anti-Semitism is not only an issue of hate. Anti-Semitism is a direct threat to national security. When you have groups of people finding the perfect platform to go out and attack another minority, and that being the Jewish people, while everybody watches and does absolutely nothing, or they do very little, this creates not only instability within our communities, it brings upon violence and also threats to other people. Therefore, what I do and what I encourage everybody else to do, whenever you see anti-Semitism, make sure you condemn it. You write to your politician, ask them why are they not doing enough to combat this issue of rising hate and rising spike in attacks on Jewish people who are just walking, going back home, going to work only because they dress differently. I think Americans need to realize that there is a group of people also in Congress wanting to bring the conflicts in the Middle East to America, and that's something America and you do not need.
Greetings and peace be upon you all. My name is Imam Tawhidi. I am here to take a stand against anti-Semitism. I'm in Auschwitz in Poland. This is where millions of Jews were killed, part of the Holocaust. This is just one of the areas that the horrific crimes took place. I've just come back from the first place we visited. It's very important that the message goes out that this never happens again, that the atmosphere for this is never created again, that we do not pave the way for these crimes to happen again. And if there's a specific message and a particular message that I would like to get out from this visit, is that the American Congress should be focusing on serving the American people. It should not be a platform for Islamist members of the American government to preach their hate against the Jewish people. The Jewish people will remain a minority and have remained a minority. If this situation continues, then this minority will be persecuted once again. And we need to make sure that this never happens. It is very sad to see what is happening within the American government. People like Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar, absolute frauds and Islamists, promoting hatred against the Jewish people. Ilhan does not believe that the Jewish people or the Jewish nation has the right to exist. Shame on her. A shame on those who voted for her and are staying silent. We should do everything we can to promote peace and make sure that the American government does not allow these people that platform. Raise your voices against hatred. Become people who love. I never thought that I would ever come here and pay my respects. I was someone who hated the Jews and the Jewish nation. It's time we woke up and became human beings for real. Thank you.
It's 2025. America's debt is over $37 trillion, and the dollar just had its worst crash since 1973. That puts your savings and your family's future at risk. That's why we trust Alpha Omega Gold, a company that stands unapologetically with Israel and supports Stand Tall Israel. Visit ao.gold/stand to claim your free precious metals wayfinder guide or call 1-855-426-4653 today. Protect your future before it's too late.